Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. It is 6:37 in Las Vegas. We're on Pacific time here. It is March 4th. We have breaking news. Breaking news 3 hours ago. Today I'm glad to endorse Joe Biden. This is not Shakaama talk. This is this is this is this is come on, light. This is Mayor Michael Bloomberg talking. He has suspended his campaign. Bloomberg spoke to the supporters of New York on Wednesday after announcing his decision to suspend his 2020 presidential campaign. Michael Bloomberg, I'm sorry that I couldn't get in on that $540 million. Quote, I won't walk away from the most important political fight in my life. In my life? Okay. And I know you won't either, he said. Bloomberg went on to declare his support for the former vice president, telling the crowd, quote, and today I'm glad to endorse Joe Biden, and I hope you will join me in working to make him the next president of the United States. If he happens to, if President Trump falls down a flight of stairs or something. The former mayor suspended his campaign after only winning the American Samoa. Okay. If you're Samoan, you probably would get that. Anybody else probably won't understand what I just did. The former mayor suspended his campaign, only winning the American Samoa primary Tuesday. He announced his campaign in November. So we have Michael Bloomberg officially bowing out of the U.S. presidential race of 2020. Let's get reaction from the crowds. Everybody, let's take a look here. Who's here? We have a guy with a bunch of numbers. I don't know what they mean. Then we have JJ. Then we have HD MGTOW. And then we have Rashad Kali. So this light is way too bright. There we go. That's perfect right there. If it was just that, maybe I should just need to push that entire thing back. Maybe like that. Maybe yeah, that's a little bit better. Okay. Reactions from the crowd. Reaction from the crowd. Reaction. This is a live stream. This is not TV, folks. This is not TV. You don't sit back and eat your chips and watch. There's a chat room to provide you with chatting to me. Anybody upset that Bloomberg bowed out of the race? I doubt he's going to put $540 million towards Joe Biden. The real Captain Marvel. Hello, how you doing? Folks, I need interaction. This is why the channel is dying, and this is supposed to be a fundraiser. I will be homeless in a few days if I do not raise enough money. I just need something like $300 more. Something like that. I might be underestimating. I don't know, but it's really close. It's not like I need a $10,000. And I'm sorry, I'm not a dwarfism child who was bullied and whose mother scams the entire nation out of $150,000. Sorry, that's not the type of fundraiser I run. I only need a couple of $100 or a few $100. Okay, $400. What did I say? I think 400. I think it's 400 or something like $400. Anyway, and today, if I don't pay my internet bill, it will be shut off. That's $90. So there will be no more live streams after today. Okay, we'll make this announcement every 15 minutes. So you because it's real. I know other streamers, they don't have to say anything and they get thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars just thrown at them because people really like the way they laugh. I could tell jokes. You want jokes? Would you donate if I told you jokes? I'll tell you jokes. I wonder Bloomberg is going to continue his campaign programs regarding black home ownership and whatnot. I bet that program is going to disappear. Well, I am, when I get to the main issue, we're going to talk about the black vote, because the black vote looms heavily on the final question of why Bernie Sanders did not win. Heavily. And of course, it's something that Democrats are completely avoiding. And I do mean completely and utterly avoiding. I went on Twitter and I was talking about the black vote. And they made absolutely sure all the responses were, the black vote is a joke. Okay. If that's what y'all want to be saying, all right. We also have breaking news. I know this is a breaking news. Breaking news thing. This is gonna knock some of your socks off. Some of you all are gonna say, Wait, what? Okay, you ready? Here we go. I make this big promise and then then I'm not ready. Where was it? Come on, breaking news. I wish I was organized. That's what I wish. That's what I really wish I was. This is going to knock your socks off. You are really going to be like, what? Because that's... Alright. Breaking news 20 minutes ago. Breaking news 20 minutes ago. 6:25 p.m. as the race winnows, Gabbard shows no sign of stopping. In a fundraising email to supporters on Wednesday, Representative Tulsi Gabbard's deputy campaign manager signals that the campaign is going full steam ahead. After winning a single delegate in the American Samoa, Gabbard traveled from Michigan to Washington, D.C., where she will stay for a few days before hitting the trail again. For those of you all do not know, American Samoa is between Hawaii and Australia. So Hawaii's here, Australia here, and American Samoa is here, and it is in fact a U.S. territory. Don't give me the line. Anyway, she is connected to American Samoa, unlike Michael Bloomberg. Bloomberg. Jason Fields, thank you for the $2. Thank you, sir. I will not see that. I will not see that for 30 days, and YouTube will take half of that, and then PayPal will take half of that too. And so I'll see like 50 cents of that. No, something like, wait a minute, hold on. Yeah, something like 50 cents. So, oh, that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to. Thank you for that. I was trying to. Did it go away already? What happened? Or is it not here? Jub, 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 jub. I know some of y'all are on phones, and so you do not have the capability that we PC users have. So I'm trying. I was reminding myself I need to make this completely open and available to everybody. And then I got my thing up here. Will give me a. It'll immediately, anything you do donate to PayPal, it immediately signal me, and I'll give you a cheer and a shout out and whatever, what have you. Where are my socks? Reginald, why'd you delete your? Reginald, I'm about tired of you making nice comments and then deleting the nice comments. I don't understand this. What are you doing? Anyway, so Bloomberg apparently paid a bunch of money for people to literally put up posters, put up stickers, put up bumper stickers in America's Samoa. So I believe because he was like the only candidate that even showed any sign to even care about America's Samoa, he won the entire territory, which is I don't know, maybe it's 100 delegates. I don't know what it is. I'm not a Democrat, so I have no idea. Shocking, a black guy who's not a Democrat. Oh my God. I'm not a Republican either. I'm a libertarian. Now, let me say this. I'm not Republican. I'm not MGTOW, but I completely understand Republican, and I identify with the rank and file. That means the common man, the peasants in the Republican Party, because they are the ones who actually believe still in the party planks of the Republicans, as is, family first, don't hurt other people, pull yourself off by your own bootstraps, which is the black culture. Has always been the U.S. black culture. This is how we raise each other in our families, right? Pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, which is kind of bad when you get to compare it to good parenting. Kind of bad. Because that means that a lot of black kids grow up without anything, and when they become adults, they don't get anything from their parents. And then they say, well, the parents don't have anything. Well, the parents should have thought about their lives a little bit better. Just like Shakaama should have thought about his life a little bit better. I gave away a lot of money when I used to be Michael Bloomberg, and I gave away a lot of my money. And when people started saying, hey, you are running out of money, you need to stop giving away money. That was a lesson learned, and people had their hand out, and they come and say, oh, okay. Jason, you're getting ahead of me. Jason, you're getting ahead of me. But that's a great take. Okay, so what is this? What is this emoji on your donation thing? That is so funny. Okay, so when are you going to make another video about Tyrone? About Tyrone? Say what now? Uh, remind me in the comments. Remind me in the comments. Okay, so Gabbard is going to reignite her campaign because she did, in fact, get America's Smo. I guess she did not. I don't know if Hawaii is up. Was Hawaii a part of Super Tuesday, or is Hawaii way late in the thing? Anyway, so we got that breaking news. Now we get to the main course. That is Super Tuesday, and the question of why didn't Bernie Sanders win Super Tuesday? Jason, never apologize for donating. And for those of you who go, why is this dude laughing? He's about to be homeless. I laugh when people are like, stab me and rob me, and because what use is it to sit and cry and be bemoan your fate? It doesn't solve any problem. And I'm looking at my views, and YouTube is literally squeezing all the other views out of the other videos. So I have a backlog about 3,000 videos, and that means that I have 3,000 chances to have people watch all of those videos. Well, YouTube makes absolutely sure that I don't go above anything, and they do not promote those videos, which is what they do with everybody else. So everybody else who gets millions and millions and millions keeps getting millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of views. So I've been watching this, and since I had that other live stream, it got like almost 400 views just during that hour. So we're talking about hours, right? During that hour live stream, and then the rest of the hours that live stream was not live, and even during the live stream, they cut off the views of the actual live stream. I have no idea how they did that. But I guess all the other videos were still getting views, and so then they cut off all the views from the other videos. And I'm watching it now. The other videos are supposed to be getting 30 and 40 views each. It goes 16, 14, and 4, and then nothing out of 3,000 videos. And I make content for every topic. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of this channel, is to be an authority on everything. YouTube is squeezing me. They're just squeezing the heck out of me. Anyway, let's get on. Why didn't Bernie Sanders win? Okay, Jason, give me your thoughts on why Sanders didn't win, and then I'll first read to you what everybody else is saying, and then I'll actually go back in a little bit, just a few days ago, and what they were screaming, yelling, and tearing their hair out about a couple of days. What's anybody saying? You all can chat. This is a back and forth. This is a conversation. You all are my panel, okay? You all are my panel of experts, and your I made this graphic. You like my graphic there? You don't get to see the full, because my face is in the way. Okay. All right. Nobody's chatting, so we'll get on with it. All right. Why he didn't win? Well, let's harken back to a few days ago. Just a few days ago. James Carville. James Carville. Who is this? Oh, is Biden going to select a black woman as his... as his running mate? She's very well put together. She's a high yellow. She's a red bone, as the people in the South would say. She's a red bone. Um, she's a red bone. Okay, what's going on? I don't know much about American politics or even politics in general. Why Bloomberg frisking the baby? That is funny. That is a hilarious conspiracy. The Democrats Party or the establishment Dems realize, as well as most people on the right, conservative, Republican, libertarian, understand that Bernie winning would be the end of the Democratic Party. Thumbs up. That's right. Thank you. Thank you guys for thumbs up. This is a fundraiser live stream. That's what I should be putting out. Today is the last day for me to pay for my internet. If not, it'll be shut down, so you won't see me at all. So if you hate me, that's fantastic. This is fantastic news for you. So if you hate me, this will be fantastic news for you. If you don't hate me, please donate $20. Why is this? It's not a bad word, is it? I don't know if that's. I don't think that's a bad word. Anyway. So here we go. The Democratic Party's presidential field, which had 8 candidates a week ago, turned into a 2-man contest after Super Tuesday's state primaries and caucuses. Former Vice President Joe Biden and Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont. Here's a claim that they're now making. That Bernie Sanders is an outsider. Bernie Sanders has been in politics in Washington before I was born. There's no possible way that he is an outsider. There's no stretch of the truth. There's no stretch of the imagination to come to any conclusion that he is an outsider. That is ludicrous. And we're not talking about the rapper. So how is it I have more people watching and YouTube is saying YouTube is putting it at what? Let me take a look. 6 views. There's 23 people watching me consistently the entire time. YouTube is they're manipulating the numbers. They need to be audited. This is crazy. They're claiming that Bernie Sanders is an outsider. Tell me if any of you get an ad. All right. Raise your hand if you block ads. Raise your hand if you block ads. So literally you're stealing from me. Raise your hand if you block advertisement. Oh, by the way, I have to pay $50 every time I have a live stream. So $50 is tacked on to all of my bills every time I have a live stream. So if I don't make $50 in a live stream, that means everybody who watched, the people who block all the ads, they all robbed from me, and then I'm going in the hole. I'm about to be homeless. I'm not joking. I might have a smile on my face, but I'm not kidding around. I'm not joking. I've run out of money. So this is a fundraiser. If you can donate, I'll put the donation up top. And also I put the thing in the chat. I know people say, why are you begging? I'm about to be homeless. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Why am I begging? What would you do if you had a platform of 75,000 people, but you're about to be homeless because 70% block ads, which means 70% of the people who come to the channel watch the stuff that I spent hours and sometimes weeks to investigate, and they block the ads, and they get to watch the stuff for free. Or they block the ads and come to the live stream, which I literally have to pay out of my pocket $50 to produce. I'm over here arguing with my cable company. Why do I have to pay this? As well, you can't live stream. Nobody can live stream. They have to pay. That's just it. You just have to pay. We have set up our entire system where you can browse websites, and YouTube itself made a thing itself that people could browse YouTube for free. If you have a phone, you know what I'm talking about. That if you have like a data plan or something like that, and then you run out of it, the YouTube doesn't take away from that, because they made negotiations with all of the cable companies around the nation so that YouTube could be free, and YouTube pays the extra themselves, just so Google could be this mega giant that it is. But if you live stream, that's a whole nother bargain. You're a company, and you should pay every time you live stream. So these people who make these live streaming backpacks, and they walk around live streaming in Hong Kong and stuff, the backpack itself costs like $5,000. And then they pay a few $100s to live stream from the backpack. I looked into that. I was like, sorry, I'm not the I might live stream, but I ain't got it like that. Well, let's take here. Matt Walsh got let go because he popped off about Bernie being bad for the country. He is so extreme that him winning will completely alienate normal people from the Democrats, and it will be radicals. Why the old subscribers aren't donating, I have no idea. Well, YouTube, here's the thing. So you subscribe, and YouTube says, oh, you like that guy, okay. Hey, Shakaama, 75,000 people want to watch your videos. Pop, Smoke, and Ghost. I'm sure that means something. I don't know what it means. But thank you for the $20. I think here's what YouTube is doing. If I start crying, it has nothing to do with you all. I'm not sad. Well, I might be sad, but I just took my medication, and the medication has something in it, and it makes me like cry for whatever reason. Then don't do it if it's that bad, okay? Georgia. I have expenses unlike you. You go to work and you come home and you pay your regular bills. This is a business. I'm actually incorporated in Nevada. And of course, you saw, who is it? Bernie get up. Obama got up and said, if you have a business, you didn't pay for that, blah, blah, blah. The businesses pay for all the roads, pay for all the welfare, pay for anything in your city, all of your businesses. We are the ones that paid for it. So I have a business, and I do the work of about 5 people, 10 people if they want to be comfortable. But 5 people, I do the work of 5 people, and of course it stresses me out. A lot of YouTubers just quit. Some don't quit and let the stress really get to them. If you know what I mean. I can't say the word, but you understand what I mean. Pop Smoke, thank you for the $20 donation. StreamYard for free? It's my lifestyle. I'm sure it's something about that. You can't get to the video? Have you refresh? I can only suggest to go at the hospital, but I don't know in the USA. Men pay for 80%. I think men pay actually more like 90%. Even the richest of women, after a certain age, women just become takers of the system. And I'm gonna say it's not their fault because that's just how they're physically made. But for them to never really don't put into the system, it's kind of bad. It's kind of bad. And Joe Biden, the other side, said rich people don't pay any taxes and they don't pay their fair share. Let me tell you all something right now. Rich people, and the richer you are, the more you pay. While they say the rich, the 1% own this much wealth, and then the 0.01% own this much wealth. As you get into the nosebleed section of millionaires and billionaires, those people pay so much of all of the taxes that it's just unheard of. Now, what they're trying to think and what they're thinking of, and this is what the current president did away with, was a lot of the loopholes. So while he reduced the taxes, he also reduced the loopholes so that you can't have a what was it, Cracker Barrel bringing in millions of dollars and then not paying any taxes because they donated a lot of their money. They did a lot of charity stuff. So Cracker Barrel didn't just say, let me take all the money. They did a lot of charity stuff and they did a lot of strategic donating. So they probably helped out a bunch of local people in their local, wherever they're located, to not pay the taxes, which, as a libertarian, I prefer. If you can have a policy of you don't have to pay any taxes if dollar for dollar you're helping out your local community, I'm all for that. And all of you all should be for that too. Love the graphical cartoon pictures. Hey Shakaama, it's been a while since I've tuned into the broadcast. My bad. Keith Brown. Oh, I was saying. So YouTube says, hey Shakaama, you have 75,000 subscribers. It would be ashamed if they couldn't watch any of your videos. You get what I'm talking about? You see what I'm talking about? Why don't you make it so all 75,000 can watch your videos? Same thing that Facebook does. And this is what Diamond and Silk went to Congress about. So you get all of these people who have hopped on and said, yes, I like this guy's content. I like his reports. I like his videos, blah, 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 right? And YouTube says, pay me advertising dollars so that you can get to people who already indicated that they like your stuff. So I have about 100 people who freely are able to get to my stuff. And I'm guessing what they have done is they have watched about 3 or 4 videos of mine, and so that solidly puts me into their feed. The other people, they might see a video, like that video, and click subscribe 75,000 times. And YouTube says, why don't you pay me advertising dollars and I'll let all 75,000 people watch you. Here's another problem. With the new algorithm, the robot that used to say, hey, people like this video, let me spread it out. No, what they've done is now, people like this video, let me spread it to his subscribers. And if you have any round of subscribers that doesn't like, comment, share the video, that sharing it to the subscriber stops and it only goes to the subscribers. I used to get 99% of my video views from outside people. Now that I don't get that at all. Okay, let's get back to it. Yes, the pyramid should be upside down. I made a lot of money last year. My taxes were almost zero. I donate to Dr. Claude Anderson. Nice. Non-profit organization. Right. Rich people, we pay very little, if no taxes. If you are donating to charities, and Obama actually did away with a lot of those loopholes. The first day that he got in office, that's one of the first things that he did. He reduced the graduated tax to starting at something like $10,000 a year all the way to zero, which caught me off guard. I didn't make that much money, and I was banking on getting a tax refund, and so I was going to get thousands of dollars in a tax refund, and then it didn't come, and I had to pay off something. I had to pay off like a car or something like that, and I was literally like telling my tax refund is going to come. So I called and they say you owe on your college loan. So we took all of that. I said, but I'm supposed to get a tax refund. This is according to Obama. We tax all the way up to $0 on income. I said, how do you tax on a zero income? How do you do that? And you got to be some kind of 20 ways evil to even think about taxing on a zero income. A zero income? So a guy who makes $1 a year, you're going to tax him 15%? Why? That doesn't make sense. So ever since then, I made sure I itemized everything. And everybody, I'm not giving you any professional advice, but for entertainment purposes, I would tell you, always itemize. I don't care if all you do is work at McDonald's. Itemize everything and keep track of everything. I bought a white shirt. This is for work. Deducted. I had a dinner and spoke to my manager at dinner. When I waved hello, deduct that dinner and keep track of all of that, and then itemize it at the end of the year. You will get way more back than. And once you put in there earned income credit, this is for entertainment purposes only. Once you put in earned income credit, you will get way more than you even put into the system. YouTube is the establishment a part of it. They don't promote a lot of channels like my main brother MLC. Donating anonymously is the only real donation. That means you're not taxed, Einstein. Ha 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 ha. My stuff is getting stupid. It just froze on me. I think I'm having a good night, actually. This is a fundraiser live stream. I'm about to be homeless. I need about $400. And today is the last day for me to pay for my internet. I need about $90 specifically. Oh, I got an update. Did somebody donate? David, you're amazing. David, the truck driver, is amazing. Thank you, David. You're amazing. You see, I get notifications immediately about everything. I get if you do Cash App, if you do PayPal, I get notifications here. So I will physically tell you, thank you, David. Thank you. You don't even get a shout out. Yeah, so a lot of charities are bad, so and I can only assume. Oh, did you see the one where the people donated to the people something about a flood or something like that, and the woman took on all of the money? And she was an actual like elected official, and then she went and took all of the money. It was to feed the little black children all of the poor little black children in her district. People specifically donated to that nonprofit, the whole 9 yards, and the official took the money and had a lavish wedding, and then the people who actually worked at the wedding didn't get paid either. like worked for money at the wedding, didn't get paid. The caterer didn't get paid. If I own a business and I don't pay myself as an employee, that's zero income. I deduct everything: shoe, hat, coats, tire, exotic rims, Rolex, you name it. I've deducted it. Philip Goodman. For all of those people, for the politicians to come out and say, like Joe Biden, we all have to pay our fair share. You all have to pay your fair share for what? At the end of the day, let me tell you a secret. At the end of the day, the black people in the poor neighborhoods where all of this stuff is going, they pay the most. Hear me out. No single tax dollar, and when I say tax dollar, anything that goes to the government, anything, parking ticket, registration, all of that is taxes. All of that. They don't call it taxes. They don't tell you it's taxes, but all of that is taxes. It goes into the government, right? So imagine, if you will, the police, nickel and dime, all of the little poor black neighborhoods. And in the meanwhile, everybody says, I wouldn't want to go to the black neighborhood. It's so trashy. It's horrible. The streets are terrible. The sidewalks are terrible. You can trip over the sidewalk because it's all buckled and all this stuff, and the lights don't work. Come to find out, if you are actual economists, you plaster it on the board, all those little poor black neighborhoods and Mexican pay more into the system than the rich people. But the rich people, when you go to their neighborhood, the streets are paved every other year, brand new pavement, sidewalks perfect, lights all work, they have flowers in the middle of the road, so nice. All right? And then they say, well, the rich people pay more in property taxes. That is a lie. Every square inch of property, even in the poor black neighborhoods, is taxed. And then on top of that, they nickel and dime all of the poor businesses in the poor black neighborhood and all of the people in the poor black neighborhood. All of the tickets, all of that stuff. So economists taking a look says the poor black neighborhoods actually pay more taxes than the rich neighborhoods. But they then don't turn around and fix the roads and the sidewalks and the lights in the poor black neighborhood. It's the biggest scam going. And then they say, oh, I don't know why those people are having such problems. Because they live in a trashy area. And psychologists have come out and said, you need greenery in your area. It reduces stress. It gives you longer life, the whole 9 yards, right? No parks in the poor black neighborhood. And in fact, they went into Atlanta in one section and took out the parks. Which means they intentionally did that. They knew what they were doing. So, people who say, well, you need to pay your fair share. No, you're contributing to a system that is by nature trying to destroy a lot of people. It is much better for, like we have a Karen story where the guy went in, created a garden, and had the little girls teaching the little girls how to maintain the garden, and then we had a Karen call the cops on him, and he said, I was gardening. This is, Karen said you were causing a disturbance. Oh, really? And literally the moms came out and said, you're harassing my children. Karen, cops, get away from us. I do have Patreon. Thank you all. I'll put this only taxes are for employees. Stop working for money, people. Own a business. Own a business. Yes. Go broke like me. You got an ad? Yeah, there's way more poor people than rich people. Way more. And they know it. I won't mention something, but they did studies during a certain event in human history in the 40s. And they got a lot of information about how to really squeeze people that you don't like. Okay, so let's get it to producer. Why didn't Bernie Sanders win? Why didn't Bernie Sanders win? I'm gonna tell you why he didn't win. Because I've given you all enough time to come up with theories of why Bernie Sanders didn't win. Uh, I'm on the YouTube website, so maybe it won't freeze. Okay. Yeah, I had to do that when I was only using my phone. I kept using the app, and the app kept uh, going crazy. Then I would go to the actual like Chrome browser and then bring up YouTube, and they kept trying to call the app, and I kept saying no. And only then was I able to do stuff properly. Okay, let's take a look here. Why the real reason Bernie Sanders did not win? If you understand that you can fail, and entrepreneurs fail a lot. What's his name didn't fail. Come to find out, his dad was rich. So everybody talks about who's Microsoft boy? Bill Gates. It's, oh, Bill Gates. He did it out of his garage, and he quit school and blah blah. Come to find out, his garage was the size of it was like 6,000 square feet. His garage, and they worked at mahogany desks. His dad was super duper rich. Zuckerberg's dad, family, is rich. Bill Gates' family is rich. He didn't need to go to school. They say you don't need to go to school. No, you don't need to go to school. But for black people, I'm telling you, 90% of the millionaires and 100% of the billionaires, except for Oprah, I don't know, did Oprah? Anyway, the billionaires account. And I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but the billionaires account, the ones who actually turn the wheels of industry in the United States. The black people all have college degrees, master's degrees, and PhDs. And it's in the black community, the more educated you are, it seems to be. Is it a coincidence? I don't know. The more educated you are in the black community, the more money you make. Does that mean that the guys with the PhD are simply smarter? That might be the case. It might just be the case that they have higher degrees because they themselves are smarter people to begin with. But it just works out that the black people with the PhDs are richer than the black people with the master's degrees. Men. Black men with the undergraduate degrees are slightly less richer than the black men with master's degrees. Just happens to work out. I don't know why. It seems to be a coincidence, because if you were talking about anybody else, that would be a coincidence. That would not be true. There's no undergraduate white group of men who are millionaires. There's a lot of white millionaires who have zero, don't even have a high school degree. They're white millionaire men who can't read, kinda, sorta, right? They just have people really close to them who do all the reading for them. Bernie Sanders didn't win because he didn't say the magic word, reparations. You might be on to something there, Philip. Also, Bloomberg was plant to withdraw votes from Sanders. Oh, really? Also, the Not Bernie coalition worked their magic. Warren, Booty Chick, and crew. And that's what I was going to get to. Bernie Sanders did not win because he did not court the black vote. Bernie Sanders, like I said, black people are all about pull yourself by your bootstraps, you leave me alone. Black people are far more libertarian and conservative than anybody else, especially as far as if we're talking about the Democratic Party. Black people are far more conservative than the Democratic Party. Why they actually vote for Democrats? It means that they're hoodwinked. It means that they're brainwashed. Black people used to be 100% Republican. In fact, I have it on good authority that if you declared yourself a Democrat back in the day, that Tyrone and P-Bone and Junebug would take you out behind the shed and beat you up. Now, black people are far more libertarian, far more conservative. So them voting Democrat is literally proof and evidence that they're hoodwinked. How do you take people who literally 75% religious, go to church, actively go to church, unlike white people who say that they're Protestant, Baptist, what have you, but they don't go to church. Black people, 75% religious, and actively go to church on a weekly or even worse basis, right? Or even once a month. There's a lot of people who go to church twice a year, Christmas and Easter, and that's it. And they're really eyeballing Christmas, like, why do I have to go to church? We gave presents. We're done. How do you convince those people? Hey, who is this? Maurice. Is that my cousin? Are you my cousin? I don't know his last name. Maurice, thank you. Thank you for donating. Or is that your real name and you have a different name online? If you have a different name online, don't say you're welcome or nothing like that. I don't want to dox your real name, but I only said your first name, Maurice. I have a cousin who went to prison. He's in that branch of the family. We have the whole family, and then we have this one branch of the family, and they do all the crime and everything that you could think badly about black people. They do all that stuff, and my mother tries and helps them. My mother tries to help them, not me. My rich mother tries to help them. Anyway, I don't think I'm really my mother's kid, but anyway. Can you say Democrats and Republicans, what a pathetic lot. Democrats represent a false choice to keep the status quid pro quo intact. Like I said, I think black people should join the Libertarian Party. I don't know why they don't. I mean, we're telling you, hey, join the Libertarian Party, which you need to join. You need to have your own party anyway. Joe Biden won Super Tuesday because of the black vote. North Carolina, the black people came out in droves and voted in Joe Biden. Meaning, without the black vote, Joe Biden would not have won. Point blank, all pundits say it, all the exit polls say it. Without the black people physically going to the poll and voting in Joe Biden, he would not have won Super Tuesday. Anywhere. And I keep telling people, black people, you have power. Use it. This current president is the first one who said, hey, come not only come to the table, but I'm going to bring the table to you, and I'm going to ask you what, and then And then the black people said, "How dare you go and speak to him? He's just silly people. Just silly people. You need to be adults. You need to think like adults." I said during the whole Obama thing, Obama didn't even go to the Black Caucus, the people in Congress, the people at the federal level, never went. He showed up at 2 dinners, stayed for like 5 minutes, and then excused himself. But went to and met with the LGBT 6 times. And in fact, before he was elected, asked them what they wanted. And come the end of his first term, going into the second term, he had completed all of their wishes and promises and what have you. Obama, the black president. Versus the current president, before he even got into office, said, "What do you all want? What do black people want? What do you want? I'm going to call a coalition of the black leaders." A bunch of preachers. And then people say, "How dare you go meet with that guy? That's not saintly. That's not godly." You make preachers your leaders for whatever reason. I don't get it. Nobody elected them. And from my vast reading, they're not supposed to talk to Caesar. Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. Render unto God what is God. You're supposed to have a whole bunch of black leaders who are congressmen, senators. What we have? Senator Tim Scott. Everybody was like, "Oh my God, they elected a black senator." Kamala Harris. "Oh my God, they elected a black senator." And what's the other guy? Who was the underwear model? He ran for president just here in the Democratic press. Am I letting out secrets here? Am I? What did black people want? Prison reform. Black people didn't want prison reform. That's that's Hollywood. That's Hollywood scripting a thing. If they were asked me for prison reform, I say shut down all privately owned prisons. Shut them all down. Destroy each and every privately owned contract for a prison that they have. You want prison reform? I'll give you real prison reform. There should be no way that the state, the government, should pay private citizens to do certain things. None. First of all, the government shouldn't be that big anyway. And then there's a separate system. There's a federal prison, and then there's state prison. In the federal prison, you can go to prison or whatever on the federal level for stuff that a lot of states actually have declared completely free and open to do. So, the federal government is not supposed to have that power. Do you all know that? Render unto the states what is the state? It's called federalism. You're not the federal government is not supposed to supersede the states. The states are supposed to be far more powerful than the federal government. That's the whole point of it. It's the United States. It's not the United Federal Government. I think the okay. I it's part of the black culture narrative. Right. It's the poor. It's the black people are poor narrative. Black people are poor and criminal. So we have to do this first coat of paintbrush of prison reform, not actual prison reform. You have what is his name? Senator Rand Paul saying, by definition, anybody with a brain would see if black people go to jail for 10 times the amount for committing the same crime, and a lot of times it's actually just a regulation, crime than white people, he says by definition anybody with a brain should say that is racist. Senator Rand Paul. Senator Rand Paul is not a black man. Now he said this years ago. He was he running for? No, he wasn't running for president at the time. Why he didn't win? Why black people didn't like clamor to him? I don't understand. He was a Republican anyway. But instead they rushed to. Well, no, they didn't rush. But yeah, actually, President Trump did get a lot of the black vote in 2016, and he's going to get twice as much, if not 3 times as much, this go round. Finally, and it's ironically, it's black men who are running to President Trump, which means that black women are either happy with what they got in the Democratic Party, or they're not looking, or they're not paying attention. Something's wrong, right? One time, okay. What's amazing? Right? I'm censoring myself reading chat here. I'm all like, okay, yeah, right. Okay, so black people voted in Biden. Sanders, for whatever reason, did not court the black vote. Sanders did not court the woman vote. Democrats supposedly champion black people, champion women, especially single women. Besides the usual, I'm gonna let it fly. Sanders, right? Sanders, and it's funny. Joe Biden had those women storm his victory speech podium. What were they talking about? Cow farts. And what's funny, Simone, whatever her name is, a big black woman with no hair. I'm just stating facts. Big black woman who has a shaved head. I don't know why she wears makeup. Maybe she wears makeup because they force her to wear makeup on TV. But hint, hint, she played bodyguard to Joe Biden at Joe Biden's victory speech podium. Now, if you look at it from a real sort of perspective, a woman should be the one to intervene on behalf of a man when a woman tries to come at a man, right? But in this case, she was bodily handling the woman. And what's funny is a couple of pundits said Simone, whatever her name is, she's his political speech person. She's not a bodyguard. He actually has Secret Service already hired to him. It's crazy. You got it right, Philip. And he was like, the Sanders campaign was being backed by Bernie Bros, who were oh my God, it's a mess. But Bernie did not court the black vote. Bernie did not court the woman vote. So he talked about a lot of he talked about a lot of socialist Democrat stuff, right? So uh, what does a woman get out of everybody having health care? What does a woman get out of everybody getting their schooling paid for? What does a woman get out of everybody getting free money? She gets absolutely nothing, and it destroys her position currently in society. She gets absolutely nothing. So Bernie Sanders did not appeal to women. Yeah, I saw that, Jason. Wow. And as far as all of that, I keep going back. Black people, in their heart of hearts, are libertarian and conservatives. It does not help black people for black people, and I'm sorry to tell you all, black people aren't poor like me. 80% of black people are in the middle and upper middle class. By definition, 80% of black people are in the middle and upper middle class. By definition. There's very few poor in actual poor. We have the working poor, and then we have the poor, actually poor. There's no income coming into the house, like mine. I have reduced my expenses to the point where all I'm paying for is my lights, my internet, and my mortgage. I don't know what you call this. I'm renting to own. I have a lease to own, something like that. Anyway, so in a few years I will own this tin can. But for the most part, 80% of black people are middle and upper middle class. This constant narrative that black people are poor and we need to help out poor black people and we need to then increase taxes, does not sit well with black people who are already squeezed for taxes already, because and their neighborhood doesn't get anything. Even the middle class black neighborhoods doesn't get anything. They do the same thing to middle class black neighborhoods as they do to poor black neighborhoods. They don't keep the roads fixed. They don't keep the sidewalks fixed. They don't keep any of the public amenities. They do not keep them fixed. So Bernie Sanders saying, not only we're going to increase taxes, we're going to just pop the lid off of taxes and just blow through all of the money that we already have right now. Does not help black people. And I don't think he even mentioned black people. What was his name? Big Mike? Who was the big rapper? That was a Bernie bro. I forget his name. Happy Mike. What's his name? I'm not a rap person. You reload the video and got an ad? I'm supposed to do ads every like 10 minutes, something like that. Nice Mike, Happy Mike, Big Mike, yeah. Killer Mike, yeah. Killer Mike being a Bernie bro, I just didn't get it. And then I saw him on that whole State of the Black Union, and it was a bunch of rappers who grew up in the hood. They have zero knowledge of, first of all, they have zero knowledge of the tax codes, the the domestic policies. They only know what they know personally. How are they going to speak for all of black people in the United States? But Killer Mike and the rest of the rappers having a state of being taken with Candace Owens, being taken seriously in a state of the black union. And then he said something, oh, America was never great for black people. I beg to differ with you there, sir. First of all, my family was never slaves. We never had slavery in my family. I don't have it in my background. So, your truth is not true for every black person. But what is true for every black person is we were able to literally go from owning our own farm to half of the people in my family being the vice president of such and so at GM, Air Force pilots, colonels, generals, and stuff like that, because that's the way they went. Other people being judges and what have, right? So all successful people. This is why I don't think I belong to the family, and not one of them are helping me. You can't curse, Jason. You can't curse. Thank you, Mike D. Thank you, Mike D. This is a fundraiser. I will be homeless. I don't have enough for this month at all. And today is the last day to actually pay for the internet itself. So I'm gonna call them. I don't know. Well, no, they don't give a care because they have a monopoly, so they don't care at all. You either pay it or you don't. If you don't pay it, you're out. They're not like the power company or the other people. The power company I'm gonna call and talk to. And see if there's like some sort of charity I can get some sort of donation from. But the internet, no, they do not care. They'll cut you off. They don't care. They consider it a complete luxury. Other nations in the world, other countries in the world, now consider internet to be an actual necessity because they have now put governmental emergency stuff on the internet. So if you don't have the internet, the government can't get to you, and they care about getting to you and helping you and warning you of national disasters or something like that. Jason, no curse words. Come on. Jason, rewrite your comment without a curse word. Okay, now. So, please donate. Please donate to that or did I think? Or and don't I was raised that you should not cry and act sad in front of people, even when your world is crumbling around you. And I've been saying this like for a couple of weeks now that hey, this is going to be the end of the Shakaama channel. Why 75,000 people aren't donating a couple of dollars? I don't know. Tenza Zangetsu. I love your name, by the way. You already know that. Let's see here. Okay, so let's go back over the stories. So Michael Bloomberg suspended his campaign, and he endorsed Joe Biden and wants all of the people who were voting for him. Can we Can we take a moment, Michael Bloomberg? I want you to donate to me. uh, if I start crying, it has nothing to do with anything. It's my medication has stuff in it. I have no idea what it is, and it makes me teary eyed, and it's something in the chemicals. You'll be okay. In a few years, when you own that house, I don't understand. First time you said this is a fundraiser, you need to explain it better. I missed the first time. This is a fundraiser for me. I will be homeless. Uh, I need. It's just $400, but it's $400 I don't have. But that's to take care of everything. That's to take care of the power, the, which is just three things: the power, the internet, and this mortgage. Although the landlord doesn't take care of his end of the. He's supposed to cut the grass and pick up the trash, and so we live in a trashy. Well, it's trashy for white people, I guess, because they all complain. And I have supposed to have a skirt around my trailer, and the skirt is broken, and so the cats get under it, and Anubis, my dog, goes crazy all day, all night, because the cats are under there fighting under my house, under my trailer. I live in a trailer. I have high blood pressure and a bad heart, and so people say, "Why don't you just go get a job?" I can't. I've been working on being able to sit in this chair for this long. A couple of years ago, I went to Pain Institute, went through physical therapy to be able to sit down. Next, we will work on standing up. The neighbor came to the door to donate some coffee and some nuts and berries, and I'm almost passed out standing up. So, the veneer that you see of me being pleasant and nice and smiling, in a couple of hours probably I'll be in sheer pain, and this whole nice and smiling will go away. uh, yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that comment, Jason. But YouTube keeps silencing your stuff, but it comes to me. Time for work. Oh, bye, Pop Smoke. Oh, for Bloomberg? Yeah, I don't know what. And you see the picture of him holding the black baby. I was like, but I put the picture up so that people can, knowing what they know about Mike Bloomberg, know that. So notice black people did not vote for Michael Bloomberg, although he was touting himself as being a champion for black people. How that's possible, I don't know. He got 0 delegates and a lot of the Super Tuesday stuff. So Tulsi Gabbard got delegates on Super Tuesday. She's not even in the race. And then we have Tulsi Gabbard coming out and saying that she got millions of dollars in campaign donations, and so she is still in the race. I thought she had suspended her race. She appeared on Fox News a few times. Apparently, Fox News finds her endearing, and a lot of Republicans actually find her endearing. And so there was this debate about, should we ask Tulsi Gabbard to join the Republican Party? And then people came out and said, no, you should not ask Tulsi Gabbard to join the Republican Party because she is a staunch Democrat. She just happens to be a closer to center Democrat, but we're comparing her to Bernie Sanders, were comparing her to Elizabeth Warren, the extreme left. But she is definitely left. Now, the only reason that they were even thinking about her is because she seems to have some sort of logic about her. But she is more moderate than Bernie Sanders. She's not moderate by any stretch of the imagination. Now, Bloomberg was a Republican. For this race, he switched to Democrat, supposedly because he didn't think Joe Biden was capable of defeating Trump. Which, now we're going to get into the analysis of Joe Biden. Like, getting me a bed at the hospital, it would be good. You have a bad heart as well? Oh, Big Chris, we should live together and have some nice busty nurse come in and take care of us. I'm not actually into that, but I know it's popular among the people and the people. So Joe Biden is under investigation. I don't know if you all know this, but the Senate, after the Trump impeachment, ordered the Bidens, along with all of the other people, to be investigated. That is, all the other people are talking about Adam Schiff, the judiciary guy, the security guy, committee guy, all of those people, and what's her name, Pelosi, and Kerry, are all under investigation and have been under investigation since last year, early last year. Now things should be popping and clicking into place about what was that impeachment about. The impeachment was a total distraction, and the impeachment was to try and denigrate the current president, right? All of those people are actually under investigation and have been for some time. The impeachment then led to the start of the investigation into the Bidens. That is Joe Biden, his son, and his brother. When you get to that, then you're going to start to having, by definition, based on my information, is that you have to then start investigating Hillary Clinton. I forgot her name. The White House chief, who was in the White House the entire time, and Obama himself. He's now a private citizen, right? So now he can be investigated just like everybody else. So along with Kerry, along with all the rest of them. All of them are going to have to be a part of that investigation, and the Department of Justice has the authority to actually pull off that investigation. Dan, you can never hear anything. So this is a fundraiser. We're asking for me and my dog are asking for donations. And for those of you who were heard about my asking for donations for the dog, a charity came out and gave food to the dog. A charity, an actual dog charity. So that was taken care of like that. Isn't that right, Anubis? They came out and gave him dry dog food, and they said if you ever need anything for the dog, we will come out and do that for you. Okay. Good for you. No, not Loretta Lynch. Who's the woman that Roseanne got in trouble for calling out, and then they said, "She's black. How dare you?" to Roseanne. She is about as black as my neighbors, and my neighbors are super duper white. And for them to and then all of a sudden all the black people came out the woodworks on Twitter, because that's how Twitter works. Twitter actually has no legitimate research. Now the internet in general has total research. The internet in general, that's not where you want to be on if you're any one of these people, because they will come out and dig up all of the stuff on you. But on Twitter, they'll just if you say, oh my God, down with this, the entire Twitter verse will come out and go, yeah, down with who? Okay, down with whomever. We have no idea who you're talking about. That's what's going on. Sitting, standing, and walking is a trial in itself. Well, I just took my medication right before the stream, so I'm guessing I'm running on those fumes, and it's specifically a heart pill. So I was imagining my dog coming up to me and going, "You need to stop taking those." Valerie Jarrett, yes. Four Horsemen, you got it. You get the booby prize. Yeah. Big Chris, you're absolutely right. And then I think I kind of nursed myself back to health, because I was sitting in my chair before as a YouTuber for 10 years, no breaks, not getting up, and OSHA says you're supposed to stand up every 15 minutes. Actually, I think OSHA says you're supposed to stand up every 5 minutes or something like that. Which for a lot of people would mean the complete disruption of business, right? And what's funny is you have a lot of now businesses where you're at a counter that you sit at a raised stool, so you're kind of standing even now. So you're not standing, you're not exactly sitting. So that's the compromise, and a lot of businesses do that. But a lot of the small businesses, you do not do that. And I used to work for 7-Eleven. I would have to go to the bathroom just to sit down. And so, like once an hour, I would go to the bathroom and sit down. I don't have to go to the bathroom every hour. I'm not a kid. Oh, and I have water. Okay. Which I should be drinking. Yeah, so Valerie Jarrett needs to be investigated. Hillary and Obama, as along with the Bidens. So if they come out with that information on a national scale, Biden is going to be toast. And so Bloomberg getting out of the race, I would expect, if you're a billionaire, that you have that information already, right? I would suspect, as a billionaire, that you have your own secret investigative personnel, right? And if you're going to get into the most important political campaign of your life, as he stated, that you would have a complete investigative arm of your employees. And they would already know what I know, and I'm just a guy. Like, what is it? Like Mark Dice says, I'm just a guy sitting at my desk in my living room on my laptop. I already know that all of those people that I just listed are all connected in the Ukraine corruption. All of them. All of them. That's what the impeachment was about. To push all of that away from being done. Why? Because the president says, oh, by the way, go ahead and investigate that little corruption that was going on during the Obama administration. Which is literally one of three powers that the president actually has. So when that actually went to actual court, They said, no, you can't do that because that's what he's supposed to do. That's his only power. Get out of here. You're fooling around. That reminds me of that cartoon. What was it, South Park? Stop playing around, kids. Stop horsing around, kids. Okay, beer. Okay, beer. Okay, Dan. So we have Bloomberg stepping down, which I do not believe he should have stepped down. Now, Biden wasn't. Sanders was scaring the Democrats because had he won the nomination, that would mean that the entire country would have to vote on not just Sanders, but Sanders leading the Democratic ticket. They were looking into their crystal ball and saying, if Sanders is the head of the Democratic ticket, then that means all of the extreme left is going to come out and vote for him. And all of those right of Sanders. Sanders is wait. Let me make sure I have this correctly. What's right for you all? Is this right? Sanders. No, this is left for you all. Okay. Sanders is extreme left, and so everybody right of him would all be voting for non-Democrats, and that's for the entire ticket. And this is what they were looking at. And this is in each time, 2016 and 2020. In each time, this is what they were looking at. As popular as he got, and he wasn't as popular as people made him out to be, because then they went back and started revamping the data and started looking at it and say, oh, actually he's not that popular. And Sanders never catered to black people, never catered to women. Never. Nothing, none of the policies that Sanders put forward as what he would do as president benefited women. And he never even addressed black people whatsoever, other than to say, yeah, and my black people and my Latino people and my all of my people of color and all of these people, blah, 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 Democrat, 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 Democrat. That's it. Black people just got a passing mention. And for Killer Mike to be to get up and be a spokesperson for him, it blows my mind. And what's funny is, before he got up and started speaking for Sanders, I was introduced to his music and his stuff. I was like, that's actually, and I like that. I kind of, not that I'm old, but this is me being old. I kind of like that Killer Mike stuff. It's kind of good. So then he got up and spoke for Bernie, and then he went to that State of the Black Union with a bunch of other rappers versus Candace Owen and the Professor whatever his name is, and Doctor whatever his name is. So you have all of those people versus a bunch of rappers, and them clowning and joking around, and Killer Mike being super serious. America has never been good for black people. That's not true. We got billionaires, dude. You yourself are rich. What are you talking about? Never been good for black people. The Middle East has never been good for black people. Four Horsemen, yes. Judge ordered Hillary Clinton to testify as a deposition of lawsuit related to her use of private email server within 70 days. Yes, we covered that in my last live stream, which was that yesterday? The hours, they fly by. You cannot believe Each hour for me is ages. To set the stage for Hillary to be VP. Biden already said that he's too old to serve more than one term, so they're setting up Hillary to be president. I need to open up a PayPal account. Yes, I already have a PayPal account. It's just right there. And this is a fundraiser uh, because I will be homeless in short order. And today is the last day for me to pay my internet bill. Super duper fundraiser, yes. So, now we have gone over that black people did not vote for Bernie, so Bernie did not win, and black people physically did go and vote for Biden. Now, let's analyze what has Biden done for black people. I'm laughing because I don't know if the YouTube will just shut me down right here. But let's just say, regardless of what the mainstream media tells you, regardless of what Biden himself tells you, the history is there. Biden is about as close to being good for black people as Pete Buttigieg or Michael Bloomberg. All three of them. And surprise! They're all supposedly in the Democratic Party. Surprise! Hey! They're all together. And if you don't know, Biden, Pete Buttigieg, and Mike Bloomberg are not good for black people. Not good. I'm not saying they're the lesser of two evils of something else. They are not good for black people. Have never been good for black people. Have intentionally gone out of their way to be horrible to black people. Defraud black people of their constitutional rights. And make black people's life a misery. Intentionally. I do not say the same thing for this lady, Janet Reno. I'm sorry, no. What is her name? Amy Klobuchar, and Elizabeth Warren, and who else? What's his name? The other billionaire who also dropped out magically. They all dropped out, right? Except for Elizabeth Warren. And Tulsi Gabbard has declared that she is still in the running. She got millions of dollars in donations, and she got one delegate from America Samoa. I think it's a territory of the United States. Crime bill. That's what. GameStop is closed. Yeah, I just so happened to be riding by GameStop and it was closed. Completely empty. I was like, what happened there? I don't think there's another GameStop for miles around. What are people doing? Or is it just that they're downloading everything? Is that... Which I like physical copies. I really love physical copies. Thank God for Best Buy. I'm not endorsing Best Buy. Christopher Maupin, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the donation. Let me say this again. If I start crying, it has nothing to do with me being sad. This medication, this heart medication and blood pressure medication, causes me to cry. So, sort of once every few days, I'll literally sit and watch really sad or super happy stuff and force myself to cry so that so that if it's like some like sort of bucket that fills up, I'll be cried out. It's sort of like my love life. If I'm ever in love, I just that fills my love meter up. I'm sort of like a cat. That's why I'm probably single. My love meter gets filled up, and then I don't come around for a few days. Terrible boyfriend. Absolutely horrible. Yeah. So anytime I saw a girl, I would only see her for one day, and then it was like 4 days off. Okay, I'm good. Bye. Yes, my card on PayPal is actually was actually closed because a merchant took money that they weren't supposed to, and so they closed the card, and that really will get me to start crying. Oh, Big Chris, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So yeah, it's just that when it rains, it pours. So I am literally like in a what between a rock and a hard place and a furnace. I mean, it just there's no this time there's no outlet. There's no anyway. I really will start crying if I keep talking. Okay, so this is a fundraiser, so please donate to either Cash App or okay. Also, Bernie didn't win because his political strategy was terrible. What am I talking about? Bernie Sanders specifically catered to young people. And I'm talking about super young, like 18-year-olds. And he catered to the college crowd. As much as people talk about the college crowd, as far as all young people ages 18 to 25, I think it's something like in the range of like 10% are in college. Not that many people actually go to college. College could not handle it if they went. And I made a whole series of videos talking about this college is closing, this college is closing, these colleges are all about to close. Why? Because they don't have entering classes. Why? Because men, well, there's that word again, men aren't going to college. Why aren't men going to college? Do men want to go to college? Yes, men want to go to college. Why aren't men going to college? Because colleges don't want men. Because colleges trash the men that are in college. Colleges say all sorts of terrible things, especially about white men. Let me tell you right now, Shakaama and the Shakaama Live Show have absolutely nothing wrong with white men. Not young white men, not old white men, not even actual white men who don't like Shakaama. And people like Shakaama. No problem. Totally inconsequential. This is what somebody who is in control of their emotions, is in control of their whatever. Although if I start crying, you're going to be like, well, there goes that argument. Is about, though, right? This is the face of somebody who's in control of their emotions. And whatever Chad doesn't make me think that Billy's going to do the same thing. Chad is Chad. Chad grew up being Chad. Billy grew up being Billy. Billy at no point ever grew up being Chad. So me saying all white men is, I think, is silly. So colleges don't like men. Period. Men. That includes you, black men. Don't like men. Period. So okay, less men went to college. Less men go to college. And contrary to popular belief, this is nothing new. College has been 50% female. No, 51% female since 1970. Before a lot of you were born. I don't know how old people are. Tony, he does. I've never met a person named Chad my entire life. I think I have. I went to private school at one point in my life. I went to private rich school, and I'm sure I'm sure I met a Chad and a Biff and a because they seemed like normal names to me. So they had to be in my crowd somewhere. Okay, before I was so rudely interrupted by Tony. I'm kidding. You all are supposed to chat as much as possible. It actually helps me out. The more you chat, the better. In fact, you all could just chat away amongst yourselves. I'll read the chat when I can. That helps this fundraiser out too. And click the thumbs up or thumbs down. You can click either one. It doesn't matter. That little box, all they care about is you clicking in the box. Pro tip, fun fact, little secret. The whole box is counted as one. So as long as you click in the box, that's all they care about. Thumbs up, thumbs down, they don't care. There's no computer that says, oh, this one got more thumbs up than thumbs down. Now, psychologically, emotionally, because people are emotional these days, psychologically and emotionally, YouTube makes sure that like when the YouTube rewind happens, and it gets 1 million dislikes, that YouTube clears that out and keeps the likes because YouTube wants people to think. Even in business, right? Even the business people who don't know what it actually means come and say, "Okay, we're going to invest in YouTube." Oh, you all got 1 million dislikes. People must not like YouTube. So YouTube can't explain to the millionaires and billionaires, hey, the dislike and like doesn't matter. It's just the all it is engagement. So engagement is like, dislike, comment, chat, subscribing, donating. Yes, Tony, Bloomberg dropped out today. I do a recap every something like an hour, something like that. So Bernie Sanders did not cater to black people and the colleges, and I was talking about colleges. That's right. So Bernie Sanders was trying to cater to college people. Only 10% of the young people ages 18 to 25 go to college. And that is being reduced because colleges are telling men not to go to college. Since 1970, college has been 51% woman. It has ramped up to 60% today, and it will be 70% in 10 years. And socially, then we have all of the professional level people in society. That means they have a college degree and they are in some sort of profession. Women are having a hard time finding an adequate mate. Well, if 70% of the women, 70 people the people who go to college are women, That means 30% are going to be men. That means men at the professional level are going to be in control, complete control of the dating scene and the marriage scene, because last time I checked, women don't ask men out to be married, right? Or ask men out to be date, right? And if they do, they're putting the shoe on the other foot, and then they come out 2 months later and say, "I have to do everything. I had to ask him out. I had to ask. I had to pay for dinner. I just can't do that." You're a strong, independent woman. What happened? So Bernie Sanders was catering to young college people. Guess what happened come time to vote? Young people don't vote. Don't they say this every year? They say this every year. Young people don't vote. And Sanders is up there talking in, what was it? In Texas, saying, we have this Sanders movement, and all of these young people are going to usher in a new era in this country. And they didn't go vote. There you go. Black people didn't vote for him. Women didn't vote for him. And once you get to the national level, then you start getting into people who actually vote. And Sanders does not appeal to 90% of America. As much as the mainstream media was scaremongering, oh my God, it's the end of the Democratic Party. Oh my God, Sanders is going to take over and blah blah blah. You saw it during the debates. They kept doing the polls, and the Democrats kept saying, "We don't want college loan forgiveness." That means you're giving away money to people who don't need it. Yes, there's people who go to college and get horrible degrees that they can't ever make a dollar on. But that's their decision. They went to college. For the most part, college is a fantastic opportunity. You are banking on investing in yourself so that you can come out the other end of it with the potential to make over and be in the 1%. Over the national average, 60,000 a year, and be close to the 1%, $100,000 to $300,000 a year. That's what you're banking on when you go to college. So why on earth would anybody of the working class want to pay taxes and hand it over to people who aren't supposed to be needing any sort of help? And the main people screaming, women. And Warren, of course, almost took all of Sanders' talking points. The college loan forgiveness, the pay for the illegal immigrants. What are they calling them today? I'm sorry. What's the PC term for them today? Undocumented immigrants. It makes it sound like they lost their paperwork. That is not the case. And Sanders didn't cater to the black vote, and Sanders did not cater to the woman vote. Nothing that Sanders put forward appeals to women. Women do not benefit from everybody getting money. Women only care about women getting money. YouTube is reducing the views of the stream, but the actual people watching. How is Mexicans a bad word? Audit the Fed. I'm here. How you doing, brother? Are you libertarian, perchance? So Michael Bloomberg dropped out of the race. I don't think he should have. I don't think he should have, and I know it sounds like very expensive, but the Bidens are under investigation right now under the Department of Justice. You're going to have a repeat of 2016 all over again. When the FBI at the last, literally the week before the election, came out and said, "Oh, by the way, we have reinstituted our investigation into Hillary Clinton," and she soundly blames that announcement on why she lost the race. Now, speaking to the truthfulness of that, we then have to look at, did people actually not like, because most of the country, 90% of the country, when you look at the map, right, it was red, 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 right? Republican. For Trump. Most of the people in the country did not want Hillary in office. Most of the people. Fun fact. Hillary claimed that she won the popular vote. When they did an actual investigation, they found millions of votes from people who were incapable of voting. Millions. Which means, if you take away those millions, Trump won the popular vote too. These were the shenanigans that the Democratic Party were pulling during 2016. Let's not even talk about the shenanigans that they pulled with Bernie Sanders back then also. Audit the Fed, you're sort of a libertarian? I accept you as a libertarian just from you saying, calling yourself audit the Fed. Well, you have to be in the Ron Paul arm of the political spectrum, which places you into the same gene pool as the libertarians, who were soundly behind him, although he was quote unquote Republican. I don't think Sanders would have run, especially since Bloomberg also got a large chunk of voters in the crossover between. Okay, so let me paint the picture of what my analysis. Biden is under investigation, which also means that you're going to have to investigate Valerie Jarrett, Clinton, Obama, Kerry, and what's his name, who didn't vote in the Senate? What's his name? Who voted against the president in the impeachment? What's his name? Senator, Texas, I think. What's his name? I have 5,000 names going through my head. I can't remember. No. Senator. Huh? What's going on? Is it still going? What's going on? It's saying no connection. Why is it saying no connection? Romney! Yes, Romney. There we go. That's weird. My phone disconnected from, or YouTube disconnected my phone, I guess. Uh, so yeah, this is a fundraiser. I'm going to be homeless if I don't generate about $400. I, I, I think 300 is safe, but or it's more safe to say $400. I need to generate about that much. And today is the last day just for the internet itself, and that's $90. And I have to pay $50 each live stream. So each live stream is tacked on to my bill every time I live stream. Uh, well, oh no, okay, yeah, the phone. My phone's actually cut off. I uh, I don't pay, but the actual phone works. So as long as it has Wi-Fi, everything everything works on the phone. So I can do programs on the phone, but it's not a connected phone. I think 400 should be easy, but you know, uh, let me warn you: if I start crying, it's not anything that's going on. It's my medication. It has something in it. I don't know what it is. Uh, oh, was it a? Did the advertisement shut off the phone? Is that what happened? Anyway, so if I start crying, it's nothing that you all said. It's not, I'm not upset about Joe Biden winning. I'm not upset about Bernie Sanders. I'm not a Joe Biden Sanders lose. Nothing. None of that stuff. Right? If I start crying, it's my medication. I have extreme high blood pressure. If I do not take my medication on a daily basis, I can end up in the ER. I'm meaning I have lethal levels of high blood pressure. 240 over 180 over 190. Some crazy stuff. Uh, and the doctors have said, I think they just say this to black people. How are you alive? Is that a black thing? Why would you say that to a patient? How are you alive? Your diagnosis is you should have already been dead. You can die at any second. I don't know how. That's not good bedside manner. Am I right? That's not. That's not nice at all. Politics make your BP go up. Yeah. So just when I stopped right there, and my dog is triggered. How you doing? My service dog is triggered. I don't. But he doesn't know exactly what to do. But he gets triggered. He gets triggered when I sneeze. I don't. I've never had a service dog before. This is the first dog I've had probably since I was like 4 years old or something like that. So I'm not used to dogs. And this dog is particularly trained for something. I don't know. I don't know what he's trained for. So anyway, so I said the blood pressure and stuff. I have a bad heart and high blood pressure, so it's a lethal combination. And people say, why don't you work? I went to physical therapy just to be able to sit down. Sitting down, standing up, walking. I'm to the point now that if I walk to my mailbox, I'm not just winded. My entire lungs hurt, my heart hurt, everything. I don't know. I don't know what that is. So I've been taking a lot of vitamins on top of my medication too. So I I think that's helping out. My fingernails are becoming shiny. I think that's from the vitamins because I'm taking the vitamins on a regular basis. Yeah, Anubis is my. Oh, he turns around now when you mention his name. What's up, poopies? How you doing? Can you hear him beating the entire house with his tail? Okay, so I don't think Mike Bloomberg should have gotten out because the Bidens are under investigation. I believe that they're going to come out with an announcement saying, by the way, we're investigating the Bidens, and so far this is what we found. And so this Democratic frontrunner that everybody's jumping behind instead of Mike Bloomberg, not that I appreciate Mike Bloomberg, I appreciate your money. If you can donate to me, more power to you. I say you should not have suspended your campaign because they're investigating the Bidens. You as a billionaire should already know that they're investigating the Bidens. You as a billionaire should know that the Department of Justice is going to make an announcement. And so the entire Democratic whole committee, that the entire party is going to be in shambles. You all thought that the Democrats were going to be in shambles if Bernie was the front runner and the potential lead of the going into the nomination, because the moderates, anybody right of Bernie Sanders would not vote for him, nor because people, when people vote, they vote tickets, nor would they vote for anybody else. They would lose the House. They would lose even more seats in the Senate if Bernie Sanders was the candidate, because the candidate leads the entire ticket, right? So you all thought the same thing's going to happen when they burn Biden, officially burn him. And I'm talking about they're investigating him, and they're going to find all of the corruption and everybody else on the ticket. We're talking about Pelosi, Schiff, Sandler, Hillary, Valerie Jarrett, Obama, and Kerry, and Mitt Romney. All a part of that corruption in not Austria. What is it? now I'm pulling a Joe Biden. See, a homeopath. Well, a homeopath wants some homeopathic money. Not Austria. What? Oh, Jesus. This probably my medication is make me befuddled right now. What country? Austria keeps coming to my brain. My brain keeps saying Austria. It's Austria. You're talking about Austria, right? Austria, right? Not Austria. It's not Austria. Absolutely not Austria. What is going on? $170. It should still be $170. This is some crazy stuff. Uzbekistan. Do you know there's a guy who traveled in all of the stands in the world? any country with a stand behind his behind their name, the name of the country, and people said that's just dangerous, and it's kind of kooky that he would make it a life goal to go visit all of the stands. All of the stands are probably the worst possible countries in the world. Okay, anyway, here we go. So, Michael Bloomberg suspended his campaign and endorsed Joe Biden. Tulsi Gabbard announced that since she has gotten millions of dollars in fundraising, that her campaign is still going forward. Elizabeth Warren did not bow out, although she was fourth and fifth. She even came behind Bloomberg in some of the votes. I think the Democratic Party should have gotten behind Bloomberg. Why they didn't, I don't know. I guess they were hoping that Joe Biden would usher in another Obama type of presidency. But Obama has still yet to endorse Joe Biden. Still. Bloomberg endorsed Joe Biden. Pete Buttigieg endorsed Biden. Amy Klobuchar endorsed Biden. And so the latest is chat disconnected, or you disconnected from chat? Let's see here. It's still going strong. Seems okay. So what's the green thing? What's the green? Oh, messages? Watching? Oh, you all need to make more messages. Biden is a placeholder for who? Who's Biden a placeholder for? Laura Powers, how you doing? Abigail Beatty, I guess I never said hello. Hello, how are you doing? Dan Penn, hello, how you doing? Macho Tony, how you doing? We're doing a fundraiser while I do my impersonation of a political analyst. I have a degree in the actual subject, but it was more in international affairs with what happened? Christopher? Okay, so Christopher. I'm trying to hold it in there, Christopher. I'm already stressed out. So Christopher just donated $388. So I believe that covers everything. Thank you, Christopher. I don't want to move right now because. Okay. All right. Thank you, Christopher. I just made a video saying men aren't supposed to cry. uh, Thank you so much. Uh, what were we talking about? I don't think Mike Bloomberg should have suspended his campaign. First of all, he has no reason to because his whole thing was buying the nomination. Buying the nomination simply means he could stay until the very end, and although people might not like uh, the what am I trying to say? If he stayed into the race till everybody dropped out but Biden, he could force everybody who isn't a super duper political person to actually he could get them with all of his campaigning and advertisements and stuff, because people at the end of the day, if they're not super into politics, will just vote for whoever they see. Biden doesn't have that. I want you all to give me your opinion. Do you agree? He should have stayed in there because I think they're going to announce that they're investigating Biden. And once they make that announcement, what is the Democratic Party going to do? What is the Democratic Party going to do once they're making that announcement? They're going to have a repeat Hillary Clinton 2016 thing. Uh, and I don't think Trump is going to say anything. I think he's just going to let the people who need to speak. Especially when you have the Attorney General telling him to stop tweeting about Department of Justice investigations because it makes it harder for his job, which is not true, but it sets the stage for making absolutely sure nobody ties President Trump to what the actual investigation is actually doing, right? So that when the Department of Justice comes out and says, by the way, we're investigating the Bidens, and this is what we've found so far. And we're going to subpoena. What's the son? What's the name of the son? The son has a weird name. Well, yeah. Supposedly the Hillary, for her to be prosecuted by the Department of Justice, that actually the statute of limitations ran out. What are the statute of limitations on that? I thought that was forever. Because aren't we talking about a serious offense here? We're talking about the potential leaking of top secret secret, top secret, for your eyes only, presidential only secret information leaking. And her email server was hacked. Was actually hacked. Not only was it hacked, but when she deleted emails, the hackers sent the emails to the Department of Justice at the time and to the press. The hackers. That's an oopsie, the likes of which nobody else could have recovered from. Well, maybe I should stop. Hunter Biden, yeah. Yeah, weird name for who? Is that a name for a person? Is that a person's name? Hunter? Are people named that? Anyway, it's a 6-year statute of limitations. What are they counting? It's only been 3. What are they counting as the beginning of the statute of limitations? I don't even... It should be a life statute that it never runs out. That even if the person passes away 100 years later, they could still be declared to have done naughty stuff. Christopher. Oh my God. Anyway, they're gonna the department the Department of Justice is setting up the stage to make their announcement, and they want to make sure that Trump is not connected with it. So he tells Trump, don't make tweets about what the Department of Justice is doing. So when he makes his announcement, it sets it up so that people say, well, okay, Trump hasn't been tweeting about the Department of Justice in ages. So I guess each day is ticking off of time passing between Trump and talking about what was the case? I'm sorry. The Roger Stone case. I don't know any YouTube policies. YouTube is always like, you can't mention this, you can't talk about this. So I'll only mention it that one time. So it's ticking up. Of course, Trump needs to go in and clean up house and there to make sure the people who need to be fired in that need to be fired, because that's kind of goofy, right? That you have people who literally say, yeah, not only don't I like Trump, I don't like this guy either, and blah, blah, blah. I'm the head foreman of the... I've never heard of Trump. I've never heard of Stone. What Stone? Are we talking about Oliver Stone? I've never heard of him. And literally go to her Facebook, and it says, that Stone should be under the jail. Any comedy skit that you ever see talking about jury duty, they always say, oh, I don't want to go to jury duty. And the person always advises them, just tell the prosecution that you believe the person is innocent, and tell the defense attorney that you believe the person is guilty. You will get out of jury duty, because a person with an already made up mind about something should not be in a jury. The jury is supposed to be impartial, just like the judge is supposed to be impartial. And the other person who did the same exact thing but was a Democrat, not only did not get life in prison, or what was it, 9 years or something like that. I think if you even if you what was it, contempt of court, I think it's like a couple of hours. And a contempt of court can be an attorney can be charged with contempt of court, and they get thrown in jail for a couple of hours. An attorney is supposed to act professional. Brad, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. tell me what you're up to. Tell me how you really feel. Okay, so let's go back over it. Bloomberg announced him leaving the campaign, and he endorsed Joe Biden. Tulsi Gabbard, you remember her? Got millions of dollars in campaign donations, and her spokesperson, campaign manager, signaled that her campaign is going full force. Tulsi Gabbard you did not see because she never made the cut. Tulsi Gabbard is also is the person that Hillary Clinton spoke out against, and Hillary Clinton said some very naughty things on a person who, for everybody in the nation, should be saluting and saying, "Oh, what a fantastic woman, Hillary Clinton." Woman, Tulsi Gabbard is a woman. She got one delegate in the America Samoa. I've been watching a lot of hakas. I don't know if you know what a haka is. It makes me cry. Watching hakas makes me cry too. When I'm alone in my bedroom all by myself so that nobody sees. I guess the YouTube had a hiccup or something. Tell me, is anybody seeing any ads playing during this at all? Or maybe when it plays back, it'll have the thing. 200 million per delegate. Bloomberg, I want you to tell you, I'd like for you to know that I wholeheartedly believe in you, and I think you should keep running. And I'm not being funny. They're going to announce that they're investigating Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, brother Biden, and Hillary Clinton, Valerie Jarrett, and Obama. And then Obama, what is Biden going to do? What is the Democratic Party going to do? You're the only one in the real position to actually be an actual alternative to Joe Biden. Because once that goes, who are they going to have? Bernie Sanders? The moderate Democrats are not going to vote for Bernie Sanders. Supposedly, in the end, the moderate Democrats came out in droves to vote for Joe Biden. Well, that would be the thinking, except for the fact that Bernie Sanders did not cater to women and did not cater to black people. All pundits agree Joe Biden won Super Tuesday because of the black vote. Why they're voting for Biden, I don't know. Biden is to black people what stop and frisk is to black people. A total and complete eradication of their constitutional rights. Full stop. Anybody who wants to even defend stop and frisk is un-American. So all of you people talking about, stop and frisk, it did so much for the safety of, it's a constitutional violation of human rights. 90% of the recipients of stop and frisk were black. That means you do not consider, and anybody who supports it does not consider black people to be American, does not consider black people to have actual constitutional rights, does not consider black people to be free. Full stop, stop and frisk is a complete violation of constitutional rights. We hold these truths to be self-evident that and I say that to Trump too, and I say that to who is it? Mark Dice. Who else was who on board with stop and frisk? What's his name? Who pretends to be libertarian? Who's the reporter? He was the consumer reporter, but now he's a he pretends to be libertarian. Not Bill Maher. What's his name? Black hair, and I think he has a mustache. What's that guy's name? He makes all of these videos about no, they can't. He keeps coming out with libertarian light books that he writes and sells. What is his name? No, reporter. He's here on YouTube. He's here on YouTube. Reporter, black hair, mustache. Brad, I love all your comments. Make as many as you possibly can. My comments are low. You all are supposed to be commenting like crazy. No, it's not Nader. What is his name? Let me look it up. His last book was No, They Can't. Can I do this? No, they can't. John Stossel. So John Stossel, the alleged libertarian, said, "Stop and frisk was a good policy. Stop and frisk was a good policy. I'm a libertarian. You're a libertarian, except for when it comes to black people. 90% of the recipients of stop and frisk were black. Stop and frisk is a complete and utter violation of constitutional rights. It harkens back to the era of the 1940s Germany, if you all know what I mean. That they could stop you, papers please, right? Didn't Key and Peele do a whole comedy skit on that? That you would be stopped and frisked right at the drop of a hat? You can be stopped, you can be frisked if they have actual, I saw him do this happened, right? And we were going to determine, was he in fact the one eating the baby? But no, you can't just stop and frisk people. That means that you don't believe that black people have constitutional rights and that you don't believe black people are free. John Stossel defending, and Mark Dice, and what's this guy? Louder Crowder, the Crowder guy, all defending stop and frisk and saying what a wonderful thing it was and how it made people safer. And now they're coming out and saying, "Oh, stop and frisk actually got a bunch of illegal guns off of the streets." This is something new that they're saying, which makes me believe that it's a lie, that it's a complete lie. Because during the actual era of Michael Bloomberg stopping and frisking black people, that was never mentioned. And in fact, what they mentioned was 99% of the people who were stopped and frisked, they found absolutely nothing. So that the stop and frisk did absolutely nothing to benefit the actual New York society at large. They were just violating people's rights. Also, John Stossel. Also, Mark Dice. Also, Louder with Crowder. Saying that Michael Bloomberg, saying that we have to send police to where the crime actually happens, and everybody knows that crime only happens in the black neighborhoods. I don't have to point this stuff out, right? These people say they're libertarian. You're not libertarian. I don't know what you are, but you're not libertarian. More than likely, you're a Democrat. Because the people who believe that the only crime happens in the black neighborhoods are Democrats. If you know what I mean. Right? Right. If it's good for one American, it should be good for all Americans. That means that that means that Hillary Clinton should be stopped and frisked. So we have the Democratic Party pulling out all the stops. Now here's a question for the stream. Now that we're well into the stream, here's the question: was Bernie Sanders robbed? Did they rob Bernie Sanders of this election? You never heard of John Stossel? He's supposedly a super duper libertarian. Was Bernie Sanders robbed? And you know, I looked that up, and I went to my super duper, super independent browser. Not browser. Pardon me. Anytime I sneeze, my dog gets triggered. He doesn't trigger on coughing. He doesn't trigger on anything else. Just sneezes. He stands up and starts looking at me all like, what you talking about, Willis? I think now if you saying everything is innocent, everything is above board, there was no corruption in the actual vote. Which they are actually investigating several districts for corruption. right now. Were those districts a part of Super Tuesday? I don't know. I don't have an and of course, the mainstream media does not report on that sort of stuff because they want to keep away any sort of any sort of I'm I'm a little bit stressed out, guys. They want to keep away any sort of impropriety towards the vote, any sort of thoughts that the vote might not be 100% real. So they don't report on all those districts that are under investigation. But a month ago, they were reporting on it. So uh, if that's the case, and those were the ones that were completely found out, then what's to say that more districts aren't actually corrupt? And then we get into, now I'm not saying this because I love Bernie Sanders or I'm not a Democrat or anything like that. I'm saying this because uh, oh, I should I should I should be tweeting all this sort of stuff. Uh, there's nothing to say that most of the districts were corrupted because then they kept finding after 2016 people actually talking about, oh, this district was corrupted, this district, we found this, we found that. But again, since the president actually won the electoral college, that let it go, that let it slide. Okay. So Bernie Sanders didn't cater to women. Bernie Sanders didn't cater to black people. And all political pundits are saying that the only reason that Joe Biden won Super Tuesday was because of the black vote. Which means, black people, you have power. You should be using your power. And not only that, you should not be beholden to the Democratic Party at all. You should only vote for somebody who benefits you. What did they say? Bernie Sanders didn't cater to women, and so women did not vote for Bernie Sanders. Women didn't vote for Michael Bloomberg either. That whole mess about Bloomberg was said this and that and such and so to women, and said this and that and such and so about women. Lost him the woman vote. Because women vote for people who benefit women. Which is what a normal human should do. You should vote for who benefits you. Now, the general population might not like it because maybe you are voting in somebody with policies that actually hurts the nation or hurts, but you should only vote for people that benefit you. It is not on you to vote for somebody into office that benefits the greater good. You should vote for you. Does your internet dad have to tell you that, Shunny? You should vote for you. Only that benefits you, because that's human nature, right? That means that you should always vote for somebody who says, you know what? By gum, black people should not be stop and frisk because it is a violation of their constitutional rights. Their God-given constitutional rights. Right? That's who you should vote for. You should not vote for somebody who says, you know, that stop and frisk was getting results. It made black people stop coming out of their neighborhood. I think both siders are the same thing, and one side is given power for a certain time, and then the other side is given power, and on and on and on. You're absolutely correct. However, we're all are always moving left. It keeps people divided. Coronavirus. Are you saying I have coronavirus? I have had a little bit of a sore throat, and I can't breathe out my nose. And then when I take NyQuil because of my high blood pressure, and it's not NyQuil for people with high blood pressure, I feel awful. Did you know that was a thing? Who knew that was a thing? Isn't that crazy? It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. I'm supposed to, and then can I do this? Does it? Okay. Okay. And then, okay. All right. Any y'all got Twitter and stuff? Can y'all tweet out that I'm streaming? I mean, although I don't know how much longer I'm gonna stream. I might collapse here in a second. It could happen. Do any of y'all want to talk about anything other than Super Tuesdays and the Democrats and stuff, and Biden potentially stuff? I didn't make any sense today. Is David still in the chat? I own a trucker Facebook group. You could go in there and you could actually get people to give you jobs from my Facebook group. Fun fact. I'm back. My girlfriend wanted a coffee delivering. Aww. That is simply marvelous. Ignore anything that I say. What you talking about, boy? Oh, what you talking about? Okay. I like that. I'm a write. I'm a write. I'm gonna write a Ebonics. So one day when I do a comedy skit, I could do a whole like Ebonics type of skit. Brad, you're absolutely correct. Democrats versus Republicans. Now, what you have in this current president, though, you have a businessman doing business stuff. He's not a politician. However, business people have to be aware of politics. Notice that Wall Street does not actually care who sits in the White House at all. Wall Street simply cares about what is benefiting them at the time. And Wall Street will give its opinion about various candidates. And when they make it to, the 1 or 2 position, then they start giving their opinion. Now, you have to make sure that you're listening to Wall Street and not listening to mainstream media talking about what Wall Street actually cares about, or who Wall Street is afraid of, or what. The mainstream media is all about just putting up silly clickbait type of stuff. And when I say mainstream media, I do mean ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, including Fox. They're all included, and same thing. There is all one big pool. I told you in the last stream that they were sued by a reporter, an investigative journalist that worked for Fox, and the reporter was talking about milk, and was talking about dairy, and how the dairy industry was actually injecting hormones into these cows, and so people should not drink milk. Right? Well, that was the conclusion of the report. When it got to Fox, the editor completely switched it all around and said that milk is fantastic and blah, 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 blah. Okay, so that reporter sued Fox, and the FCC, yes, the FCC joined the reporter. And the FCC says, yes, you all should not be reporting lies, that you have a duty to tell the truth. Well, ABC, NBC, CBS, Bloomberg, MSNBC, all joined Fox, all on the same side. And the judge held that not only does mainstream media not have a duty to tell the truth, but they are completely liberally to completely lie. And the FCC has no jurisdiction or nor authority to oversee that portion of mainstream media. So, don't be taken in about mainstream media talking really about anybody, but specifically about Wall Street. Wall Street does not care who sits on the throne, because Wall Street is going to get their pound of flesh, because they're going to send people to the White House and say, hey, we heard you've been talking about taxing rich people and raising the investment tax. You need to cut that out now. Or the person doesn't even get in the White House. And that's what you have in the White House. You have a Wall Street person in the White House. He's not Republican. He's not Democrat. He's a Wall Street person. Period. And they say he's such a great president. Well, you're comparing him to horrible presidents. That's what's really going on. He's doing what every president should have done. That's right. That's kind of the whole naivete of Trump, is that he's doing what every president should have done, should have been doing, watching out for the country. Guess who watches out for France? Guess who watches out for China? Guess who watches out for Japan? Guess who watches out for Britain? I'd like to see if they had prepaid PayPal cards to add to your account, but I couldn't find one. I don't have any social media. Sorry. That's about the state. How Australia is past the point of no return. Australia is past the point of no return. Are we talking about women? Or are we talking about the coronavirus? How do you feel about Biden? Biden. He doesn't have money. He doesn't give out money. Michael Bloomberg, I would like to take this time to say, I heart you. I really do. If you need a well-spoken black person who ever speak for you, and you want to pay me $100 million, I'm your guy. Vote for Shakaama. Michael Bloomberg. Why listen to Wall Street? Wall Street interests are drastically different from that of the peons. You are absolutely correct, Christian. Wall Street cares about Wall Street. But as a peon, it is a very good indicator of who's going to go which way. Who's going to... Why is this acting like this? Why is the live stream... why is the live data saying that I'm not getting views on this stream? There's 20 something of you watching. Sometimes it's 40. It might actually be 40, but my things is 21. Did you all like my tirade? Did you all like my tirade? You should always look at people. Nobody's here? Nobody's watching? We're all AI. Christian Lawler, what happened to my... Oh, I need a... I'm a Bobot. I need a... Let's have a joke section. So before that, let's have a recap. We have Michael Bloomberg suspend his campaign, his presidential campaign as a Democrat. We have Joe Biden. I don't know if he's saying that he's going to have Representative Lisa Blunt Rochester, who's a black lady, very well put together. She has 4 strings of pearls around her neck, so I can't imagine that she's anywhere near middle class. I can't imagine that she's even anywhere near upper middle class. She is clearly in the upper class. But perhaps he's nominating her as a possible running mate. Joe Biden announced that it raised $7.2 million. Joe Biden mistook his daughter for his wife and his wife for his daughter. Joe Biden was they stormed the podium in protest of cow farts. I'm not joking. To protest cow farts, and Simone, whatever her name is, the black lady, the huge black lady with the shaved head, served as the bodyguard to oust the women. And let me tell you why that is at all concerning, and why you all should be concerned with that. She is his political spokesperson. She's a CNN spokesperson. She's not a bodyguard. So why is a very large black woman serving as a bodyguard? Joe Biden has Secret Service already assigned to him, and the Secret Service were there at the podium. If you were somebody's political analyst or whatever, would you be tackling women? Would you be tackling women? Christian, you're funny. Brad, gotta go later. Oh, see you, Brad. Thanks for stopping by there, buddy. uh, Hours after Bloomberg exited the race, Sanders had not heard about it and started making statements, which people felt were in bad taste about Bloomberg and his money. Michael Bloomberg, I want to take this time to appeal to your good sense. If you need an articulate black man to ever speak at any event for you, I'm your guy. $10,000 per hour. Thank you. And I think that's cheap, right? I think the Clintons charge $1,000,000 per hour. Hootie Mac, you have to Hootie Mac, you have to remove the N word. Uh, YouTube is not allowing your comment, so just rewrite your thing. I'm allowing the use of the word Negro, so to me that is not a bad word. I don't know what. Uh, 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 you can't use the word neighbor in my chat. It's totally YouTube doesn't like that. 24 watching. I have a different count on each different screen. I don't know what YouTube is doing. Uh, okay, so we have here is Trump's take on Super Tuesday for Joe Biden. President Donald Trump weighed in on the Democratic primary results last night during an unscheduled appearance at Vice President Mike Pence's White House meeting with airline executives to discuss coronavirus. Before reports were ushered out of the room, do you know they have rooms? You know those places where you have to like give your like hand print and your eye print, and then you go through this corridor and you're basically in your underwear, and they can strip you of all viruses and bacteria and everything. You know those. They could do that to the people. They don't even have to quarantine them. They have the technology for this corridor to completely. It's kind of like the Star Trek teleporter that gets supposedly when you teleport, it gets rid of any rid of bacteria or any lingers on. That's supposedly the theory behind the Star Trek teleporter. Before reporters were ushered out of the room, Trump remarked that no one had asked him about the election. As journalists lingered, Trump called Super Tuesday a great comeback for Joe Biden. He noted former New York City Mayor Mike Bloomberg exit this morning and subsequent endorsement of Joe Biden, saying Bloomberg would try and save face by putting money behind the former vice president's campaign, which I don't think you should do, Mike Bloomberg. If you ever want to put your money behind anybody, I'm your guy. Quote, one thing this whole thing has shown is you can't buy an election. That's a beautiful thing, Trump said, pointing to Bloomberg as well as billionaire Tom Steyer failed bid also. Tom Steyer, if you ever need anybody, I'm your guy. I'm your guy. Steyer, who dropped out after a disappointing finish in South Carolina on Saturday, spent nearly $200 million in national advertising, according to ad tracking firm Advertising Analytics. Bloomberg spent a whopping $558 million during his 100-day run, the firm found. Mike Bloomberg, I've never run anybody's campaign, but I have a degree in politics. I think your only problem was you got into the race late. Had anybody been actually trying to give you good advice, they should have said, get in early. You were talking about whether or not you were going to run months before anybody started campaigning, and you soundly made the confirmation that you would not run, which was a bad idea. You should have just stayed neutral on the subject. I don't know if I will run. Quote, sometimes you don't have what it takes, Trump said of Bloomberg. I said to him, it's not that easy doing what I did. The president also took a shot at Senator Elizabeth Warren after her lackluster performance on Tuesday night, echoing his morning tweets that she spoiled Senator Bernie Sanders' lead by not dropping out. Quote, Elizabeth Warren was the single biggest factor in that election last night, he said, adding that Sanders would have won her home state of Massachusetts as well as Minnesota. She was very selfish. Now, what do you think of that? Did Senator Warren actually Senator Warren spoil Sanders' chances to win on Super Tuesday, which means he would have had more delegates, I believe? This fundraiser is for Biden too. This fundraiser is for Steyer. Not to disparage any left-wing supporters, the Democratic Party pushed Biden harder. After all, the old ninjas voted for him. You're seeing as a monolith that all ninjas vote the same. Hootie Mac, you're amazing. And yes, I said this. The black vote got Biden into Super Tuesday, winning Super Tuesday. The black vote. All political pundits are saying this. All the political pundits agree. All political analysts agree. The black vote got Biden to win Super Tuesday. The black vote. Not the female vote, not the white vote, not the moderate vote. Which is the three things that the Democrats parse people out into groups. The black vote. Black people, you need to understand your power. And you need to vote only for people who are for you. Biden is not for you. And I don't mean Biden Biden is bad for black people. Let's just say that. I want to keep this politically correct. Biden is not good for black people, period. He's not a good person in general. He's not a good person for black people. If you, as a black person, are believe in Jah and Jehovah, he's not the person for you. And black people are actually flocking to Trump. Trump is a businessman. He's not a Democrat. He's not a Republican. He was Democrat his whole life, and then all of a sudden he's a Republican. What's amazing to me is that a lot of the older blacks are uninformed on who they voting for. No research, just CNN. Couldn't have put it better myself. Zero research. And that wasn't us before. The vote was so important for us that we researched each and every, right? Because we didn't have the vote, right? Even us free black people, even us people, black people who never had any slavery in our history, us quote unquote regular citizen black people back in the day, still did not have the vote. Which then makes you start questioning these people talking about, well, men have always had the vote. What men are you talking about? I'm sorry there, Shakaama. I like Tulsi Gabbard, but I just think she pretty and younger. Her campaign is going full steam ahead after getting money. In a fundraising email to support on Wednesday, Representative Tulsi Gabbard's deputy. I wrote on her channel, I said, if I were your body person, and body person is the person who makes sure that you look a certain way, that your makeup is a certain way, that your clothes are a certain way, that your tie is tight, the colors on you are a certain, make sure that you're wearing the correct pin, your body person. I said, if I was your body person, I would not, I think that whoever your body person is dressing you up too much glam, which means that you're not going to be taken serious. Elizabeth Warren came out the other day in a loose sweater. So instead of appearing to be a grandma, which is what she is, right? She appeared to be, a woman who's, she's a working woman. She's a millionaire. She has a loose sweater over a t-shirt. Okay, and we're going to talk about, right? Not to say that she's manly, but she's a working woman. That's her body person put her as a working woman, although she's a super duper millionaire. And Bernie Sanders talking about rich people don't pay their fair share, in a pig's eye. After winning a single delegate in America, Samoa. Okay. Gabbard traveled from Michigan to Washington, D.C., where she will stay for a few days before hitting the trail again. Gabbard team put forth $1 million fundraising goal, which they reached on Super Tuesday. Does the news talk about her? No. Tulsi Gabbard is the one that Hillary Clinton said that she was compromised, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Know what I'm talking about? That Hillary Clinton said she was compromised. She seems too militant in her demeanor. Speaking of Tulsi, it's probably the army training. Yeah. She sort of gives her interviews like, "Yeah, hi, I'm Tulsi Gabbard. How you doing? I'm running for president of the United States." But her hair is flawless, and she's wearing a pure white suit, right? If she's gonna do it, she should look like what's her name here? Janet Reno, Amy Klobuchar. Is it funny that Is it funny that I $1 million is the goal for Shakaama on a fabulous Wednesday. Is it funny that she looks like Janet Reno, and when I say Janet Reno, I then am reminded that her name is Amy Klobuchar, because Amy Klobuchar is really hard to spell. And so then Okay, so the question is, did Elizabeth Warren splinter the vote for Bernie Sanders, saying that she should have dropped out of the race, and because her message is parallel to Bernie Sanders. She's going to do for college student loan forgiveness. She's going to pay for undocumented immigrants to have completely free health care. Even Obama didn't give people completely free health care. Obamacare wasn't completely free health care. It was a mandated health care by the federal government, which should have absolutely no parts, no parts of a say so in your insurance, which is they keep saying healthcare. They're talking about insurance. Should have no say so in your insurance, and putting more people on Medicaid and Medicare than were before. But where they talked about 160 million people being uninsured in the United States before Obamacare, after Obamacare, 130 million people, new people. It kind of changed. 130 million new people, different people, were now uninsured after Obamacare went into effect. And because the premiums actually went up under Obamacare, premiums actually went up, and they were mandated, it kicked people off who had health insurance before. I was a YouTuber during that period, and a lot of people actually sent me photocopied data showing me, and that was a thing back in the day. Photocopied data of their insurance being canceled and raising up 2 times as much, 3 times as much. One person sent me a thing and it was raised 4 times as much. Their health insurance. Health insurance, which for the most part they don't use. A young family with two or three kids, something like 4 kids or something like that. Yeah, so it's a young family, 4 kids, and because of their actual income of the actual family, it bumps them up here and puts the insurance up here. So people could not. What was that? We have to do. AML. Something happened. It didn't appear on the thing, did it? Why does this do this? You would think is it no. Oh, recent events. There we go. Hold on. Derek Smith subscribed. Thank you, Derek Smith, whoever that is. Okay. Should I can I get a show of hands of people who like Star Wars? Yeah, $4,000 for a new computer. You're correct. Give me a show. Type 1 if you like Star Wars and you would like for me to live stream me attempting to show you a computer generated Star Wars game. Type 2 if no, type 1 is yes. Star Wars, and I don't mean the new Star Wars. I'm talking about computer games. I'm not talking about the movies. I'm talking about Star Wars, the games. And you would like for me to come back in like 10 minutes and show you a new Star Wars thing. It'll be a short stream. If people really want it, I can make it an hour, but it'll be a short stream, maybe 30 minutes of going through a Star Wars level. Type 1 in chat if you would like to see. 1 in chat if you would like to see. Let's see if this. Is it not even showing? Okay, it's saying 50. Okay. Type 1 in chat if you would like to see a live stream. 2 if no. Dan, why? Can I have a 1 in chat? 1 in chat. 1 in chat. Zendria Goodwinkins. Goodwinkins? 1 in chat if you'd like to see a live stream of me going through a Star Wars level. Let me say what it is. It is a Unreal Engine high definition version of Mos Eisley. An Unreal version. So here's where the excitement is. It's photorealistic version, so it looks like it's an actual place. And me walking through it. Photorealistic. So 1 in chat if you would like to see me walk through that. Well, there's 21 people. There might be 18 people who say no. This thing is hot. I'm not trying to get sexy. I have a sweater vest on. I need to lift weights. Look at my arms. Look at my shoulders. I have no shoulders anymore. One in chat if you like to see me. Anyway, I guess 1 is enough. A few of you is enough. A few of us. Okay, so I'm gonna end the stream here. Here, a few of you are gonna have a commercial. Some of you will not. I say Elizabeth Warren. Here's my conclusion. Elizabeth Warren stole a lot of votes from Bernie Sanders because her political message was the same as Bernie Sanders. Was the same. She does not call herself a democratic socialist. Elizabeth Warren does not call herself a democratic socialist. She just called herself a socialist. However, everybody raised their hand at that first debate who said, would you support free health for undocumented immigrants? Would you support excusing college loans? Everybody raise their hand. Everybody raise their hand to all of the super duper left stuff in those first debates. Every single person. It wasn't until Michael Bloomberg came in and actually started saying, that's crazy. Why would you do that? Nobody's going to vote for that. No, I don't believe in socialism. I believe in capitalism. People want to be paid for the work that they do. And they don't want to then give over their money to other people who haven't done the work at all. Shakaama works really hard. uh, Michael Bloomberg stopped his campaign. Michael Bloomberg, let me talk to you. If you ever need an articulate black person, I'm your guy. Black people love articulate black. Look at Obama. He was black and articulate. He was president of the United States. Black people and white people love black articulate people. It also keeps buffering. I am literally streaming with so much power that it's not too late. Michael Bloomberg, it's not too late. You can always get back into the race, like Tulsi Gabbard got back into the race and is going ahead, and she was going to raise $1 million for her campaign, and she did it. I don't know what she's trying to go for, but she raised $1 million. She has not gotten the qualified to get into most of the debates. And now you need, I think you need something like 10% or something like that, 5%, 10%, something. Buttigieg suspended his campaign. Amy Klobuchar suspended their campaign, and they both endorsed Joe Biden. Tom Steyer also suspended his campaign, but he suspended his on Saturday. Michael Bloomberg suspended his campaign and endorsed Joe Biden. Now, if Elizabeth Warren drops out, who is she going to endorse? That's a legitimate question, because all of her policies are the same as Bernie Sanders. So, is she going to then... She's in a precarious position, because she's taking the votes away from Bernie Sanders, because all of the people who like Bernie Sanders but don't want to be called socialists are voting for her. When she drops out, are they going to vote for Biden? No, they're actually Bernie Bros light. Time to turn off my electricity. Well, I need to give them a call tomorrow to say I have the money, checks in the mail. Literally, that's what I have to do. I'm going to go check my mail to see if I have a card, because all of my accounts were shut down. This is how close I was, people. And then Christopher, my savior, Big Chris Entertainment, has saved me. And so I'm going to check and see if I got a brand new card to make sure that everything's in there. Okay, and so make sure I say this. The Democrats were afraid that if Bernie Sanders was the actual front runner and then he would force them to give him the nomination, that everybody on the ticket under him, senators, congressmen, all on the Democratic ticket, would all lose. Because the people would punish, because people vote ticket. That's how they normally vote. So, in a backlash against Bernie Sanders, they were afraid that the Democratic Party would cease to exist. Would they vote for Trump? We have no idea, but they would not vote for Democrats. Then that would open up the whole thing of well, maybe the Green Party speaks to me, which I don't understand why all of these green people don't go to the Green Party, right? All of these people pretending to be so environmentally conscious vote Democrat, but not the Green Party. That doesn't make sense. The Green Party literally only talks about going green. You only talk about going green? Clearly, you have a party. You have the Constitutional Party. There are people who are into that. They don't vote for that. The Libertarian Party is the single most largest independent party, and more people vote Libertarian into office than all of the other third parties. All of them put together. There are more senators, congressmen, mayors, city council, treasury, judges, Libertarian than there are all the other people. In quote unquote independents. All of them. Libertarian. It's a pretty good party. I think black people should join the Libertarian Party and destroy the Democratic Party. There you go. Alright, so we're going to close down because people are dropping like flies. Is it really late? It is 10 p.m. here, which means that it's 1 a.m. on the East Coast. For late night people, I'm going to try and do the next stream, which is a photorealistic Mos Eisley from Star Wars. Now, I am not going to make any promises. It might not actually work because my computer is terrible. All right, we're going to end the stream now. Thank you all for watching. This was a fantastic stream, I think. And I'll come back in about 10 to 30 minutes. Thank you, Christopher, Big Chris Entertainment.